Hello everybody, Rogue Fox here, and welcome back to another Minecraft Bedrock Edition Beta update video. And man, it has been so long since I've done an update video on my channel. I think the last one I did was when the bees came out, so you can imagine that was quite some time ago. But with the release of the mountain goats and powdered snow earlier this week for the new beta, I couldn't resist and I had to get my hands on this, especially since we got access before Java did. So for those who don't know, these type of features for the new updates usually come out on a Java snapshot long before we even get them on Bedrock Edition for a beta. So it's very cool of Mojang to give us early access to this. And with that, let's go ahead and take a look at everything we know about this new update so far. Let's go ahead and take a look at the mountain goat first. This is the new mob that's going to be added to the Caves and Cliffs update. And right now I do have it contained within a barrier block just so we can get a good look at it and look at it trying to jump. And of course that is one of its main features. It does jump pretty high and it jumps pretty far. How high and how far, I'm not too sure. But when playing around with it, I did make a 4-block gap of powdered snow and it managed to make that jump. And one of the features that the goat has is that it does not cross powdered snow and it does spawn in extreme hill biomes in groups of 2 to 3. As far as drop goes, the goat horn is the only drop that this mob has, and I do applaud Mojang. We don't have to kill the goat for the goat horn. What we actually have to do is entice it to charge us and make it run into a solid block. Now it does try to ram other mobs. It does also go after armor stands, so I'm sure at some point you can make some sort of farm with that to make it ram to a solid block. And once it does that, it does have the possibility to drop a goat horn. And the goat horn sounds just like the raid horn, so let me go ahead and play it real quick. There we go. I'm not sure what this feature will do. As of now, it currently doesn't have one except making that horn noise, but this is the drop that the goat has. Another feature about the goat is that we can milk these things and get goat milk, so we don't have to rely on cows for milk. We can also milk the goats, and it'll work just the same. It'll relieve us of any status effects, so that was another cool feature that they added. Taking a look at the goat's jumping mechanics, I placed down a circle or square of powdered snow. As I mentioned, the goat will not cross powdered snow, and if we actually had a solid block here, it would pathfind through it, but if not, it will simply jump over, and hopefully we can get this goat here to jump so you can see how high it goes. And as I mentioned earlier, I did have a 4-block gap of powdered snow, and it managed to clear that. So there we go. We can kind of get an idea of how high it jumps and how far it can go. And like I said, we can go ahead and milk them just like this. So we got milk there. Now to breed the goats, we are going to use wheat. And from what we've learned so far is that goats can produce about 3 to 8 goats. So let's see if we can make this happen. And they kind of run around a bit. Looks like they kind of... Oh, there we go. So we got 5 right there, and then they just start jumping around. It's actually pretty entertaining to watch all of these goats jump around. Before moving on, I do want to take a look at the goat's attacking feature, and if we go ahead and spawn a sheep, we'll place it right there, and every 10 to 15 seconds, the goat will... Oh, it looks like the baby goat's attacking this time. So you can see that went right for it, and then it randomly jumps. But every 10 to 15 seconds, the goat has a chance to attack a mob it makes eye contact with, and I believe the radius is about 16 blocks to do that. So in my opinion, the goats are kind of jerks, but I mean, I guess that will add some danger if we're playing on extreme hills, so be very careful around the edges of cliffs when you have a goat nearby. Let's go ahead and take a look at the powdered snow. So if we place a couple blocks down like this is the powdered snow and its texture. And if we place a couple blocks of snow right next to it, you can see they are very similar, but there is clearly a difference. And I imagine it would be very hard to see if you're just running along and, yeah, running into these two. Now, the feature of the powdered snow is, first of all, we can actually go inside of it. So if we step inside powdered snow, we get this cool little vignette of snowflakes or frost around the edges, and then we can walk all the way through. Now, I'm not going to show it here, but I did play around with it. If we do have a mob chasing us, we can simply go into the powdered snow, and they will lose track of us. I did that with a creeper. It's kind of scary because I had it so close, but again, backing into it, it totally makes the creeper or mob forget about us. Now, if we stand on top of it, we actually sink right in. And again, you can imagine it'd be hard if you're running through regular snow, no problem. But once we hit that powdered snow, we start sinking right in. So with that, I imagine it would be a very creative block to use for some traps or other purposes where you fall through. Aside from traps, I think powdered snow and snow would be perfect for a maze. And you can guarantee when this is actually out next summer, I will be building this on the Truly Bedrock server for everyone to play. But as I mentioned, the textures are very similar. So you can imagine if you have the player running against the clock through your maze, I mean, sure, they could navigate it like this, try to find all the snow blocks. But if they're just trying to run through the maze like this, they are going to get very stuck. And yeah, it's going to be very frustrating, but I think fun at the same time. And what I also think we can do with this, even though I don't have anything set up, is that we could probably use snow for some sort of parkour map. Now that we know we can sink into powdered snow when we walk on it, the question is there a way to actually walk across it without sinking? And the answer is yes. All we do is put on some leather boots. No other boots will work except the leather, so if we place these on and jump on top, we can walk across the powdered snow, no problem. And if I didn't mention this earlier, we can go ahead and use powdered snow just like scaffolding. We can go straight up like this and make our way back down. Even though going down is a bit slower than going up, but it's still something that we can do. And again, leather boots allows us to walk on top of the powdered snow. And of course, when we take them off, we just sink right back in. And there you have it, everyone. That is a look at the new mountain goat and the powdered snow. Of course, with the beta came a bunch of changes in the changelog, which I will post a link to down in the description below. But I mainly wanted to look at those new features. So I'm very excited about this update. I'm super excited to see what they are going to add later on in the future. And with that, this is going to bring a close to today's video. I really hope you all enjoyed. This has been Rogue Fox, and I will see you later.